Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland, this is for you.
What's up, Cavs fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Block the Shot to Stop. Here with Skylar Webker. I am Kevin Lynch, here to talk to you about the best team in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Going to cover the last couple of games, what's coming up on their schedule, how the team's looking. We got a couple of player profiles. We kind of want to really look into a couple of guys that we really like what we're seeing from right now. First and foremost, Skylar, how are we feeling tonight?
Feeling tired. The daylight savings is kicking my butt this year.
It hits a little different when you got young kids, man. I gotta say.
Yeah, it really does.
Yes. So as I said, we're going to get into everything Cavs, but we got one little announcement, something Skylar and I talked about today that we wanted to share. Now that we're in the month of November, it's officially the holiday season, the month of being grateful, of giving, of all that kind of things. And we talked about how many businesses and individuals are like out there doing nice things for, there's a lot of people struggling right now. And so we decided for the month of November, any of the proceeds we make from the podcast, yes, we actually make a little bit of money from this podcast. We're going to donate every dollar we make to the Cleveland Food Bank, help the good people there. In particular, we're going to try and funnel the money to the Kids Cafe, which make sure that kids get meals at school, after school, send some meals home with their family to the people who need them. And frankly, we're just kind of inspired by so many other people doing great things, and wanted to help out a little bit where we can. Like, Skylar, what I leave out?
No, that's perfect. And I food disparity is a great cause, and it's something that the Cavs do every year. They have at Giant Eagles, they have players come and they pay for people's groceries, especially going through the holiday times, the tough times. I know we're still on a government shutdown right now. So
yeah,
anything you can do to help support your local food banks, start Cleveland Food Bank, and I don't know, be a little charitable this season.
For sure. And just so people specifically know, I guess, how it works, we get paid by all the advertisers that you hear and might skip through the commercials every 15 minutes or so on the podcast. So we get paid a little bit from them every time somebody listens, every time somebody downloads. So we're asking people, no gimmicks. You don't have to follow us on social media, on YouTube, nothing else. But if you want to be a part of the cause, just, download some episodes, listen to them. We have it set up so even old listens will count for the month of November into this bank of money that we're trying to get to, contribute to the food disparity in Cleveland, as Skylar mentioned. So yeah, I mean, if you're somebody that, enjoys the podcast, listen. If you're somebody who doesn't, maybe just listen or download a few this month, just so we can kind of rack up the numbers. And we're hoping for like a record month in revenue, so that we can, help out as many people as we can. And enough about that. We appreciate everybody that maybe participates and downloads some episodes, shares it with a friend to download. And other than that, we're not going to pepper everybody with it too much. But Skylar, let's get into the subject at hand. The Cleveland Cavaliers have had two games since you and I last spoke. Friday night against Toronto, which was a bit of a clunker. Good game to have on a holiday when a lot of people weren't watching, and then a much better game last night against the Hawks. But we will go back and talk about that Toronto game first. This is a game 5 of the top, arguably 7 players of the Cavs were out, basically leaving Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, and then a lot of the kind of mid to lower end of the bench role guys to fill in. They were competitive for a good part of the game and then ended up losing 112-101 to the Toronto Raptors. And this is a game you try not to be frustrated because you realize how shorthanded the Cavs were playing. So we'll start out with the good. Skylar, what was good from Friday night that you liked despite the loss?
Well, I'm going to say our guy, Jaylon Iron Tyson. I mean, he's really, really been putting on some great performances the past couple of nights.
Yep.
Great performance here in the Raptors game, but also great performance in the Hawks game, which we'll get to. Shooting numbers looking great. Defensive numbers looking good. I mean, gave you 3 blocks on, and he's not a huge guy, so like getting 3 blocks on Friday against Toronto is really great, on top of 18 points, 3 rebounds and 4 assists. So I really like what we saw out of him, and he's really been able to carry that through really since that Boston game that we talked about last. I mean, since that Boston game, he's really been able to be a offensive unit out there on his own. And Kenny Atkinson had a comment after the Hawks game where, he's playing like a $20 million role player right now, which is great value for the Cavs as he's on his rookie deal.
Yeah. No, well, definitely. I definitely want to talk about Jaylon a little bit, and especially the Hawks game, because I thought that might have been his best game as a Cav. But like my one good thing, I thought overall, the defense and the effort was really good. I mean, sometimes when teams are missing that many guys, they kind of shut it down. Call it a night or whatever. I thought the effort was great. I thought, frankly, it was pretty good defensive performance, holding Toronto 112, but really that was with a much better second half. The first half in particular was really good defensively. And I like the fact that they didn't just roll over because they were missing so many of their important guys. I mean, it's the whole like tanking is like a strategy for the whole season, but like every team will tank a game here and there for the better good of the season, to keep guys healthy, protect guys that are banged up, those things. That's kind of what the Cavs are doing here, but they didn't give a tanking type effort. They actually really did try and win, and we're winning at the end of the third quarter before the game kind of got away from them in the fourth. Other than that, like one guy I wanted to focus on for this game was Evan Mobley, because with all those other guys out, the focus is going to be on him. At the end of the game, he had good overall numbers. 29, it was 29 points. What do you have? Like eight rebounds. He shot 65% from the floor, 205 from 3. I guess my question, Sky, and this is in a good way, is this the type of offensive array you want to see from Evan Mobley? Notably, of 17 shots, only 5 were 3-pointers. And he's been, in other games, more about a 50-50 mix of 3s and 2s. So do you think this is hopefully an example of Evan finding like the balance that will make him the best version of himself on the offensive end?
I hope so, but I do think, and maybe it was just like you said, everybody was out during Toronto, but I do think he leaned a bit too hard on the offensive piece of it, to where, glad he got 8 rebounds, but if you're Evan Mobley without Jared Allen, you need to be in kind of the double digits rebounding department. So yes, but I would say slightly too far on the offensive reliance, I would say.
Yeah. And so my bad thing, and it might be yours too, but I was going to throw out mine first. The Cavs are not a good 3-point shooting team right now. And they're not good for 2 reasons. One, they're not shooting a very good percentage, and they're shooting a ton of them. 46 in this game, which isn't as many as some other games, but like 46 threes when arguably 4 of your best 3-point shooters, if not your 4 best 3-point shooters, are not on the floor that game. Everyone loved the 3-pointer last year, but because it was such an efficient shot for them, because they had such good ball movement, such good breaking down the defense, they're missing that component right now, which is leading to not as high quality threes, and as a result, not a very good percentage. So I don't know. What do you think the answer? Do you think is there specific players or specific things they can do to create some of that ball movement they had last year, or is the better idea just to attack the basket a little bit more right now until you get all your guys who are the best ones to take those shots are on the floor?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you pointed out when we were on last time with DeAndre Hunter. I mean, the dude took 12 threes on Friday.
Yeah.
Like out of the 46, he took over about a third of them. So I think you got to attack the basket more because look at the guys that are shooting threes right now. You have Larry Nance Jr., who's a fine 3-point shooter,
Yeah.
nothing spectacular. Thomas Bryant got one up. Evan Mobley, we said he was 2 for 5. Like those are 3 big men that probably have the length to get it done in the paint versus relying to sitting out on the island. So I think for where you are right now in the season, like attack the basket. Their free throw percentage or free throw attempts were a lot better. We're starting to get those back up to where they should be, right around the 20 to 30 a game. But I would still say it's not enough for where this team is, knowing that your 4 best 3-point shooters are hurt or on the bench right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think especially without Donovan Mitchell, I mean, you're always going to feel Donovan Mitchell's absence, but when he's out, when you're already missing Garland, when you're already missing, Strus and Merrill and guys like that can create offense in their own ways, um, you're not going to get high quality 3-point looks because there's just not enough offensive creation on the court. And so I think when you're a little bit undermanned and underskilled on the offensive end, the best thing to do is to attack the basket. Generally, it's easier to shoot the closer you are to the basket. That's just kind of a rule. I know these guys are like superhuman, but right now, especially in that game Friday without Mitchell, but right now I would like to see their 3-point attempts tick down a bit and their free throw rate go up and getting because they're attacking the basket so much more.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I kind of know I pointed the finger at DeAndre Hunter, but he's been the most 3-point happy shooter on this team this year. And fine at about a 30% clip, kind of hovering around 40%. But
Sure.
boy, that you're like you said, the offensive momentum kind of just stops whenever it gets to DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, it does. And, I don't want to harp on Hunter every game, but I mean, once again, 2/3 of his shot were from the 3-point line on a game where they really are missing that offensive creation. You would like to see him find ways to get to the basket a little bit more. Well, that's enough about that Toronto game. Let's put that one in the rear view and keep it moving. Much better game from both an entertainment standpoint and the fact that the Cavs won was last night when they took down the Atlanta Hawks 117-109. The Hawks were without Trae Young, who's going to be out several weeks. Everybody knows the Cavs players that have been out. I mean, you really have to start with Donovan Mitchell. There's several guys I want to highlight in this game, but Mitchell himself was just phenomenal. He's just doing an assault on the NBA right now. The shots, the variety that he's hitting, the fact that they're sending double teams at him, their defenses are trying everything because they know the Cavs are undermanned to stop Donovan Mitchell. And he just continues to get the shots he wants. And when they force him to take a bad shot, he just hits that one too. Like he is making a run at being first team All NBA again. And honestly, I think he looks noticeably better this year than last year.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of the Donovan Mitchell that was out in Utah. Now, not so much to that where he's so ball dominant and everything, but really outside of Rudy Gobert, it was the Donovan Mitchell show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who every defense was after, that's who was targeted, and he would just, no matter what the defense throw at him, show out and produce for the team. We're getting a lot of those qualities out of Donovan Mitchell. Now, I will say this is probably the better Donovan Mitchell that you would want on your team because he distributes more. He's kind of a little more defensively engaged. So I would say take this Donovan Mitchell over any Donovan Mitchell in his career so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, what more can you say about Donovan? He, unfortunately, they're playing with the strategy show similar to the playoffs last year, where it was just a whole lot of Donovan on offense and then hoping to get contributions from other guys. They're not going to win like that in the playoffs, but they can win like that right now while they're, waiting to get the rest of the cavalry in, right? And he's just flat out been amazing. He's done everything they've asked. His minutes are up from last year. He was at like 36 minutes, which he's been at several times. Obviously, he has a tweaked hamstring that kept him out Friday night, and he's playing through that because he knows they kind of need him to right now. So I don't know. I'm running out of words to say about Donovan Mitchell, man. I mean, if you got a couple more, I'd love to hear them because I could. On one hand, I could talk about this guy all day. And another hand, I feel like I've said I've run out of positive words to use, and I don't want to use anything else.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you can get 5 assists, 37 points front, and then, I mean, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and a blocker are kind of just cherries on top. But thankfully he was given some help. All the starters outside of Larry Nance were in double figures scoring wise, and Nance was there to fill in for Jared Allen, who's been hurt.
Sure.
Finger issue, right?
Yes. Yeah. He broke the tip of his index finger. I forget which hand.
Yeah.
I think it's something he's going to be able to play through long term, but it sounds like they're at least giving him some time to get a little bit stabilized. It sounds like he's going to avoid surgery, but I'm sure they're still wanting that aside, be cautious with him. Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, perfect from the free throw line. Love to see that. Now, I don't think he got there quite as much as he maybe could have. Only 5 trips to the line, but he's incredible. He's worth the price of admission himself.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, this team has so many other stars around him.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get to the other stars. I do want to talk about a couple other guys, but I do feel like it's fair to next talk about our guy, Jaylon Tyson. I know you were kind of talking to him. Of course, as my screen share decides not work, but he is, as you said, Kenny was talking about him being a $20 million player right now, like that they think they think Jaylon Tyson is becoming basically like a high level role player in the NBA right now, like an established starter who is making that level of contributions, and he's doing all the things that like we've been wanting guys on this team to do, like play with attitude, hustle, like defend, play bigger than you are, and play with just emotion. And he is so passionate out there. I just, not only do I think he's contributing great to the cast, I love watching this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's fun to watch. And you kind of had a joke in our group chat before where like every guy that we pick, like it just turns into gold. Like we're the golden ticket. Because Ty Jerome was amazing last year, and we kind of picked Jaylon Tyson this year. And man, he's been, at this point, he's kind of tough to take out of the starting lineup if he keeps playing like this. I know he had some spurts in the start of the season, but I mean, you're showing the highlights here of against the Hawks where he was 5 for 11 from 3. And man, if you can get that even off the bench, starting, whatever, you can get that. I mean, this dramatically changes I would say the ceiling of this team, which this team already has championship aspirations.
Sure.
I think it like really pushes the team even closer to that ceiling, I would say.
If you can get a guy who is a really good contributor and is contributing ways that are gaps on your team, I agree that contributes toward your championship aspirations, as you said. Basically, if he can fine tune his game, like I was talking to, was going back and forth with somebody online who very respectful, is a little bit critical of Tyson's game. Some things that are fair, like he fouls too much. He plays out of control a little bit of time, but I'm like, man, you have this guy who has this like insane work ethic, who wants to do nothing but like move and play basketball and hit people and all of this stuff. He's worked so hard, and his 3-point shot looks so much better than it did last year. His handling the ball a little bit, his confidence, you can tell the development that he has made from year 1 to year 2. I'm like, I will take that guy all day long. and just keep working with him to harness his game, because he's already improved so much. I have all the confidence in the world that he's going to continue to improve and continue to, like you said, stake his claim for like a starting role, or if not starting role, a closing role on this team.
Closing role right now for sure. I mean, we talked about how this team is really missing offensive production, and obviously that rang true with when Mitchell is out, or when a lot of the starters are out. So it's great that he's able to contribute. With all likelihood, he's going to go to the bench once everybody gets healthy. But if you can keep that production when you're at the bench, that definitely helps keep you in the closing rotation. But I don't know, you just provide so much more to this team if you're able to keep this level of attitude and feistiness and production, and just like you said, filling the gaps to help the team.
Yeah. And that stuff's contagious, man. When one guy starts doing that stuff, it tends to kind of ripple through your team, and guys who, aren't as fond of doing the dirty work, they just find themselves doing it because they saw their teammate, willing to do that. I love how vocal he's becoming already. I mean, you can tell in like timeouts, in like huddles, and just talking on the floor. Like, that tells me how much his confidence has grown, because I didn't see him say a word on the court a whole year last year. So it tells me he's confidence is growing because he knows how much work he's put into being ready for this opportunity. We highlighted it coming into the year. There's going to be opportunities for guys to start this year with the Cavs being shorthanded. Who's going to take advantage of it to the point where you can't take them out of lineup, or they keep their role when other guys come back? And right now, like, Jaylon Tyson is number one with a bullet as far as those guys taking advantage of his opportunity.
No doubt. I mean, absolutely no questions on from here. Now, I don't know how sustainable what he's doing right now will be all season. Small sample size, but boy, wouldn't you like to be wrong by on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, for sure, he's a young player. He's going to have some struggles. Like, I'm not, I'm not worried about that in the least. But he keeps putting in the effort he's putting in now. He keeps shooting the ball the way he's shooting the ball now. I mean, that's the key. Like, right, if you're going to be a 3-and-D guy, you need the three. And he did not have a very good looking shot last year. This year, the form looks better. It's not picture perfect. It's not Sam Merrill's, but I mean, he's hitting them at a pretty reliable rate. And more important thing, he seems to hit them when they really need them. I mean, he hit 2 threes that we had in the highlights last year, or last night. Every time the Hawks kept cutting it to a 3-4 point game, Jaylon Tyson hit a 3. What he had, like, in the fourth quarter alone, was it just the 6, or he had 9 points? He hit 3 threes. He was 3 or 4 in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's winning time. He got 8 minutes, 8 out of 12 minutes. He was on the court in the fourth quarter. That's telling me a guy is producing. He's earning the confidence of the coaching staff, his teammates, and I don't think this guy's going anywhere, man. I think he's gonna. I think our prediction, my prediction. You asked me, is he gonna how many minutes is he gonna average? I think you asked me 10. I was like, I'm going over 20. I think he's gonna average over 20 minutes a game this year. And all my predictions aren't looking great, but that one is.
That one is looking fantastic. Yeah, I'm super excited about Jaylon Tyson this year. One other thing that we're starting to get a little more of is more of an offensive production from Lonzo Ball.
Yeah,
I've been pretty vocal that I like a lot of the things that he's doing, but that you can't be putting up zeros in the offensive department. 8 points against the Hawks are starting to tick up past 3-4 points. If you can get into those double digits, and I'm not asking for give me 19, 20, but if you can give me 12 to 14 a night, that definitely helps the case there, because I love all the other things that he's doing. He's getting the rebounds, he's getting the assists. The defense has been great this year, so I like it. The trade is looking good, but he's still missing like we know that off the spark or off the bench spark that we're getting from Tyson right now. But yeah, you just need some sort of offensive production, and that's looking like it's hopefully coming around.
Yeah. The role players as a whole, that was their best game of the season last night against the Hawks.
Yeah.
I include Tyson that because he is going to be a role player on that team, even though he's starter. Dean Wade happened to start last night, but just because of the injuries, but he's traditionally a bench player. I thought Dean was fantastic. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He was all over the place defensively. I think he defended just about every position on the floor and did it at a high level. I caught myself just zoning in on Dean for a while. I was like, man, he is just playing really good. This is the Dean Wade that the just drops of promise that we've seen from him from over the year. I'm like, if we get anything close to this guy, he's going to be another really valuable guy in this team. And Larry Nance was solid. Like both Tyrese Proctor and Craig Porter Jr., I thought in the first half, I was like, are they going to be able to play these guys in the second half? It didn't look too good. Then they both made key plays in the fourth quarter to kind of open up that game. Craig Porter, like 4.7 rebounds, 3 assists. Proctor hit a couple of shots in the fourth quarter. This is what the Cavs need right now. They're basically asking almost everyone on the team to take a step up from what their ideal role is with this team, right? Because of the guys out. Normally Tyrese Proctor might not play. Craig Porter Jr. might not play or just play, 6-7 minutes a game. They're asking him to be a key contributor. He played 20 last night. Larry Nance Jr. is probably going to be more like a 15-minute a game guy. He had to play almost 25 last night. And so this is what you're asking guys for. Like, can you take a step up into a step more important role than you might have when we're at full strength and perform in that role? And last night was as good as any of just the whole team collectively doing that all the way down the line.
I think it goes back to what you said about Jaylon Tyson. I know we're giving him so much love on this episode, but
yeah,
that's contagious. Being a fire starter is contagious. When you see him making those clutch threes in the fourth quarter, that gets Tyrese Proctor all jazzed up to get a key steal. That gets Craig Porter Jr. all gassed up to get these rebounds that he had no business getting.
Yeah.
He bodied a few guys to get a few of those. So I think it goes along with that lines. Is if you have somebody to rally around, then I think they all go in that way. I have nothing else to say other than that.
No, I mean, it's a good place to leave it because I was just so impressed by the collective team and the fact that, they were able to sustain leads or even, open up the game with some of these bench guys that are normally going to be their 10th, 11th, 12th guys getting key roles. I thought that was really, really great last night. So on that note, let's do a quick preview. The game Wednesday night, Philly. We're going to be on right after that game, but let's talk about a little bit about what we see. This Philly team is interesting. They're 5-1. They might be 6-1 now after last night. They beat Brooklyn 129-105. They are playing way better than people would have anticipated. And it's not because of Joel Embiid, really. Like Tyrese Maxey seems like he's taking a leap into an all NBA type player. He has been absolutely phenomenal. This rookie they got, VJ Edgecombe, is just a whirlwind. This guy, everybody thought this is going to be a really good player someday. He was a good player day one in the NBA. Insanely athletic. And they're doing it kind of with speed and athleticism, which is the opposite of what Philly's been in the Joel Embiid area. They've been more of the walk it up team, get the ball to Joel in the high post at the nail and kind of play off of that. Have you really seen this Philly team much, or do you have any, I guess, thoughts on how the Cavs might match up with them or where the Cavs could, take advantage of this team?
I think right with what you said, how they like to move the ball, they're getting it up court, they're playing with pace. I think you can't let that disrupt any defensive scheming, because I think the defense this year, the box scores probably don't show it the best, but I think the defense this year has been a little more solid than last year, in the sense of a lot more man, a lot less zone. So I think if you can keep your defense together, I think you can definitely out hustle them going the other way, though.
Yeah.
I think you can put the burners on. You'll have no trouble getting to the hole. So I think you have to offensively outpace them, and then defensively, I don't want to say keep up, but don't let them out hustle you. And I know this is probably a terrible way to explain a basketball game, like hustle and don't get out hustled.
Yeah. No, I got you. I mean, this is a game. Um, I feel like this has got to be an Evan Mobley game. Like he's the best mismatch against them because they are frankly kind of old and slow on the inside where they're winning all these games is with
Mhm.
their fast, quick guards. And this uber athletic team with Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre, like they're going to rotate guys on Mitchell. Mitchell's going to have a good game because he has a good game every night. But I think this is a game where you're going to need a decent amount from Evan Mobley, and you're also going to need a really big defensive performance, particularly from the perimeter, which we know is not traditionally been a strength of the Cavs. But in this instance, they're gonna have to play. I'll be interested to see, who they match up against, Tyrese Maxey and some of these other guys. And I actually think it'll be a really entertaining game. Philly loves to run. I like it when the Cavs run. I think they're a good running team. So I'm actually hoping for a fast paced game and then kind of, you know, see where it goes from there. But I mean, Philly's playing really well. The Cavs are going to need to have a performance as good or better than they just had against the Hawks to get this game on Wednesday.
And it'll be the first game in their throwback uniforms, so that will
Yes.
be real nice.
Yes, I thought you would say that. I thought that'd be the first thing you say, but um, well, before we get out of here, Skylar, we are going to introduce another good new segments. You started the Dad's Talking Cavs on our Wednesday show, and it's Monday, but traditionally our Sunday show, we're like we want to do one non basketball thing, just kind of leave something, particularly like fun stuff, stuff that like just spread some good that we experience because most media that you consume is all bad and and Death Star. So anyway, the segments we just for now temporary title is like one nice thing. So I'll ask you, Skylar, I'll let you start. Like, what is one nice thing that you experienced, heard about, anything good that you want to share and recycle into the world?
Yeah, I think it goes to the trick or treat and Halloween. This is our first year in our new neighborhood, and not to talk down about our old neighborhood, but Halloween was always like a Sunday, noon to 2. It wasn't like very festive or very fun. We didn't also have sidewalks in my other old neighborhood, so never really got a good sense of community or anything around that. So being in our new neighborhood, my mom and my sister um, came by. My wife's aunt came by, and we were just a good old gaggle going trick or treating. It was so fun. Kids were running everywhere. It was a really good nostalgic experience, and really helped boost our sense of community. And I know you said one nice thing, but I'm going to go two.
That's cool.
Uh, my sister, she's been through a lot of stuff with the loss of her fiance, who was a police officer in Cleveland and was shot in the line of action. She's been having a real tough time getting into dental school. She's kind of been waitlisted a couple years in a row. Well, she got an interview at Kansas City, and we were all really excited for her, but pretty far. But she got word on Friday, actually, that she's got an interview scheduled for Ohio State. So just good things, good vibes, good to see some progress and some much needed wins in some people's lives.
No, that's awesome. Congrats to your sister. And it's so funny. I was thinking about changing on the fly because you took almost my identical one nice thing, but I'm going to reiterate. Yeah, I actually thought about you some the day after Halloween, wondering how yours went because we did have a similar experience last year. We both moved. since
Yep.
last Halloween to new cities, new communities, all that kind of stuff. And much like you, it was a completely different experience than I had in my old community. My old community was like a newer community, not as established. People didn't know each other. I mean, it helps now that my daughter's in school too. But man, our whole neighborhood was just alive on Halloween. Like kids everywhere, parents everywhere. Couldn't have had nicer interactions. We got to meet some neighbors for the first time, even though we've been living here 11 months. It was like an opportunity to meet some neighbors. We did lots of trick or treating. We would stop at the house every so often and pass out some candy, which my 5-year-old daughter enjoyed passing out the candy too, which was nice that she likes to give as well as receive. We also had a friend, a family from my daughter's school that lives right kind of in the middle of the neighborhood and said, "Hey, we're gonna just everybody when you need a break from trick or treating, stop by. We're gonna have some dinner options, drinks, and the kids will all play in
Oh,
the
so
backyard. The
nice.
parents get to interact." And so we got to do all that. And I mean, my wife and I were walking home, and it's like, this is why we moved here. Like tonight is like
Yep.
a good example. Like, while we didn't know, these people and really didn't know much about the community, we moved here for all of them and all of this. And it couldn't have turned out more perfect than what we were wanting. And we're so excited to be entrenched in this community for probably another 18 years since I was 6 months old. But no, it just something about community, especially like kind of forming a new community and the strength of it. Like it's such a good feeling, one of the best human feelings. And I'm glad you got to experience it as well, because I know how much we appreciated it on Friday night.
Yeah, it was same things. Like you just felt the warm fuzzies. You're like, oh, this is why we did it. This is why, we're providing this better life for our children, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, with that, we can go ahead and get out of here. We will be back Wednesday night following. We'll go live right after the game against Philly. All the normal stuff. Subscribe to the podcast anywhere you get podcasts, on YouTube. Watch us on Playback Socials. Blah blah blah. But for this month, we really just want to rack up the downloads for no other reason than it creates revenue for us that we again are going to donate 100% of that to the Cleveland Food Bank and the wonderful people over there. It's such a great organization to just make sure everybody's eating this holiday season. I mean, if nothing else, there's a million things we all want, but none of it really means anything if we don't all get dinner. So
Yeah.
anything we can do to help with that. So yeah, go listen to this episode, listen to any old ones, all of it helps. Tell a friend. We appreciate all that. So for Skylar Webker, I am Kevin Lynch. Thank you for listening. And as always,
Go Cavs.